So let's continue with this article. How has Supreme Court validated Tamil Nadu stand on jallikattu? How has Supreme Court validated Tamil Nadu stand on jallikattu? Why has the judgment brought cheer to Tamil Nadu government and supporters of the sport? Will it applicable to similar races in other states? Is regulation preferred over a ban? How has the court dealt with the animal rights? So jallikattu is basically a sports like means there is a bull and there is a person, and the bull will chase the person, and person has to save himself from the bull. Something like that. We will see in the article. So this article has been written by K. Venkataramanam. K. Venkataraman. So let's continue with the article. The story so far: Jallikattu, traditional rural sport involving bulls, has received judicial approval. A constitution bench of the Supreme Court has ruled that amendment made in 2017 by the Tamil Nadu Assembly to the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, facilitating the smooth conduct of the sport with stringent regulations, is valid. The court has thus settled the question whether the sport should be disallowed on the ground that involves unnecessary cruelty to animals and violates animal rights. The verdict is also applicable to other sports involving bovines such as Kambala, buffalo race in Karnataka, and bullock cart racing in Maharashtra. So recently, Supreme Court has made an amendment in 2017 by the Tamil Nadu Assembly to the Prevention of Cruelty Animal Act in 1960, facilitating both conduct of sports. Stringent regulation is valid. The court has thus settled the questions whether sports should be disallowed on the ground. So basically, so whatever the sports like Kambala and bullock cart uh, or jallikattu, so they have means violated the they have means you can say they have encouraged somehow the cruelty to animals. Okay, so in this that's why that Supreme Court has taken some steps in 2017. So let's what are the controversies of jallikattu? The main conflict over the sport, which involves sturdy bulls being let loose into the arena and being chased by men who are considered winners if they manage to hold on the humps of the animals without being thrown off, and is whether it entails unnecessary cruelty. So basically, the in Jallikattu, in this sport, there was a man and there is a bull. There is a man and there is a bull, and anyhow, the man will try to touch the hump of the bull. Hump means you can see in the photo. That is this one. This bulge part of the bull, the upper part, you can see. This is called hump. This is called hump. This so the man will try to touch this hump as long as he can touch the hump, and bull will try to throw this man. Okay, and whether so unnecessary cruelty. Animals' right activists have been arguing that manner in which it is held is cruel because it inflicts pain and suffering. What appears to be a bull's ferocity in the arena is actually a flight response born out of fear. So basically, whoever are animal activists, this they they said that this basically reflects some kind of cruelty to animals. Okay, that and whatever the study behavior that is shown by the bull is basically the response uh, because of fear. Specific acts that allegedly took place in the past before the events were regulated by the law, such as beating the bulls or twisting their tails and other acts that inflict pain so that they are more ferocious in the arena and now rare. So in the past, most of the acts has been already regulated in the law that they cannot beat the bulls or they cannot play with their tails or twist their tails because this inflicts some kind of pain. This inflicts a pain to the bull. In 2006, a Madras High Court judge won a petition for permission to hold a recla race. Recla race is kind of a bullock cart race came up before her, barred the conduct of any such event including jallikattu. On appeal, a division bench set aside the order but asked the government to take the steps to prevent any kind of violence or cruelty as well as ensure the safety of participants and spectators. It favored regulations over an outright ban. The state assembly adopted the Tamil Nadu Regulation of Jallikattu Act in 2009 to strengthen its case for holding the event by adopting regulations and safety measures. So basically in 2009, so there was a petition filed by someone to hold a recla race, to conduct a recla race. So recla race is something a kind of bullock cart race. So what that Madras High Court has, they have directed the government to make some kind of regulations so that there will be no any kind of violence or cruelty to animals, and there will be also safety to the participants and spectators. It favored regulations over an outright ban. The state assembly adopted the Tamil Nadu Regulations of Jallikattu Act in 2009 to strengthen its case for holding the event by adopting regulations and safety measures. So Tamil Nadu has uh, the Legislative Assembly of Tamil Nadu uh, has brought a regulation of Jallikattu Act, Tamil Nadu Regulation of Jallikattu Act 2009 to uh, to to drop down the to decrease to reduce the violence towards the animals, especially for Jallikattu sports. In July 2011, the Union Ministry of Environment and Forest issued a notification including bulls in a list of animals that are prohibited from being exhibited or trained for any performance. Efforts to organize the sports as a regulated event failed and Jallikattu could not take place for some years. So, what in 2011 the Union Ministry of Environment and Forest, they basically issued a notification that no animals including bulls will be trained for any kind of performance, uh, and that's for this reason Jallikattu was not conducted for most of the years. The ban caused a bitter divide in the society between two camps: those who believed that Jallikattu should be organized without any hindrance as it was a part of the state's tradition and culture, and that its continuance was needed to preserve the native breeds of bulls on one hand, and those who believe it cannot be regulated at all as it amounted to cruelty and ill treatment of animals in any form. Further, the number of human casualties during the events every year also raised the concern about the safety of the participants and spectators. So why did Supreme Court ban the sport? In a landmark verdict that established the rights jurisprudence for animals under the Constitution, the Supreme Court imposed a ban on Jallikattu and similar sports involving animals in 2014. So this was a groundbreaking judgment in 2014. that Supreme Court has totally banned this sport, jallikattu or any kind of sports that involves animals. It held the Tamil Nadu law regulating the sport as a repugnant to the central legislation on preventing cruelty to animals. So, what is the meaning of repugnant? Repugnant. Extremely unacceptable or in conflict or incompatible with. So it held the Tamil Nadu law regulating the sport as repugnant to the central legislation of preventing cruelty to animals. They both were in a conflict. Okay, means what Tamil Nadu law was regulating the sport, but what the central legislative uh, what in the central legislation that was totally opposite. Okay, means they were in Tamil Nadu law was regulating that sport, but anyhow the central legislation wanted to somehow ban the sport or somehow to stop the sport. It said that act was anthropocentric in the sense that it sought to protect the interest of organizer and its spectators and participants and not the animals. Anthropocentric. So anthropocentric means find out anthropocentric regarding humankind as a central or most important human existence species as opposed to lot or animals. This belief that human beings are the central or most means giving importance to animals, sorry, giving importance to humans and not giving means something that is opposed to animals. Okay, means something that is not beneficial for animals, means harmful for animals. In that sense you can so it was this sport was totally anthropocentric. So this was in the benefits for the participants and spectators, uh, and also the organizers, because they were earning a hefty amount of money by conducting this sport. But who was the loser here? The animals, the bulls, because because this was something like a cruelty to the bulls. Cruelty was done to the bulls. On the other hand, the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960 (PCA) was an ecocentric law. The bench ruled the provisions of the state law were contrary to the provision of the Central Act in three ways. Ecocentric. Let's find out the meaning of ecocentric. As a whole. Okay. So, on the other hand, Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960 was an ecocentric law. Means this law was totally ecocentric law. Means as a whole, the bench ruled that the provision of the state law were contrary to the provision of the Central Act in three ways. It went against the statutory duty of anyone with the care or charge of any animals to ensure its well-being and prevent infliction of unnecessary pain or sufferings. The bar on using animals solely for entertainment, inciting them to fight, and the restrictions on the training, exhibitions of performing animals. So these three were reasons that were conflicting with the Central Act and the State Act. The court cited the five freedoms recognized for animals by the World Health Organization for animal health. Freedom from hunger. Okay, means the five freedom that was allocated for the animals according to the World Health Organization, that is given to the animals. Thirst and malnutrition, freedom from fear and distress, freedom from physical and thermal discomfort, and freedom from pain and injury and disease, and freedom to express normal patterns of behavior, and said that these freedoms should be read into the provision of favoring animals right found in the PCA. So all these provisions were are found in this prevention of PCA, the PCA Act, that is Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. So what was Tamil Nadu's response? Just a minute. So a massive agitation broke out in January 2017 against the government's failure to facilitate the conduct of jallikattu for successive years, with tens of thousands of people, especially youngsters, occupying the sands of Mariana in Chennai for days. This led to the surge of support for jallikattu. The government of then Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam agreed to take legislative measures. With the Union government cooperation, it obtained the President's prior instruction to issue an ordinance that sought to remove the basis of 2014 Supreme Court judgment. So, so what happened? Means after a long time, means Jallikattu was not conducted. So there was anger in the people of Tamil Nadu. So they occupied the sands of Mariana Beach in Chennai for days. Means they were some kind of doing protest. Okay, so that government will do anything to conduct Jallikattu. Okay, because people wanted to have the sport Jallikattu because they were enjoying that sport. So, means what was the solution that government to the Tamil Nadu government, that is Chief Minister O Paneerselvam, that okay, means okay, Supreme Court has banned this sport, but we will do some legislative, we will pass some act, we will pass through parliament, not through parliament, that is state legislative assembly. And means it is actually banned, so means how can means फिर another law can be made. So what he has done, he has he wanted some cooperation with the union government, and he also talked with the president to issue an ordinance so that they can remove the 2014 Supreme Court judgment. So basically, means president has the power to reverse the Supreme Court judgment at some extent. So to avoid repugnancy with the central law, the ordinance, which was replaced by an act within a few days, was adopted as a state-specific amendment to the PCA itself. So, Miss, whatever the ordinance was, that was issued by the Mr. President or Miss President at that time. So it was totally a state-specific ordinance. It was framed in a way that would define Jallikattu as an event organized to promote and follow traditions and culture and to preserve the native breeds of bulls. It clauses were rewarded to remove the applicability of PCA provision to Jallikattu. So, so if means in support of that means that they wanted to conduct Jallikattu, means in response to that, what they have said that this event organized to promote and follow tradition and culture and to preserve the native breeds of bulls. Okay, and it clauses were words to remove the applicability of the PCA provision to Jallikattu. It added that sports as another exception to the list of the acts of PCA itself allows as those that do not amount to cruelty. Other exceptions include dehorning, castration, and destruction of stray and pack animals. It made the restriction on use of animals for performances inapplicable to the Jallikattu, besides including the sports to the list of exemptions from the rule against using some animals as performing animals. With the president giving his assent, the amendment became a law in Tamil Nadu. What does the SC ruling now say about? In the latest ruling, Supreme Constitution Bench has accepted the basic argument that Jallikattu is a part of cultural heritage of Tamils. So after 2014 judgment, now Supreme Court is totally agreed with the Tamil Nadu government that yes, Jallikattu is a traditional part of its cultural heritage. It observed that judiciary cannot examine the questions whether something was a part of tradition and culture. That would defer to the legislature views in this regard. On this point, it differed from 2014 verdict, which had rejected the claim that the sport had a cultural and traditional value. So, in 2014 verdict, the Supreme Court has not recognized it as a sport, and it has not recognized. It also not supported the cultural and traditional value. That's why in 2014 it was opposing the Jallikattu sport. It held the amendment as saying it has now legitimized the bovine sport, that it cannot be termed a piece of colorable legislation. The court recalled that 2014 judgment had banned the sport by citing act as amounted to cruelty then. So means right now means in support of that means why they have agreed, why they have not followed the 2014 verdict, means they have not uh, brought down the same judgment, because they uh, at that time they have banned this sport just because of the cruelty to animals that was shown at that time. However, the situation was now different, but right now the situation is different. The constitution being said as the state amendment has been followed with the stringent regulations for conducting Jallikattu. It ruled that state legislation should be read along with the rules frame for holding these events. Therefore, there are no statutory violation now that a warrant ban on Jallikattu. So now there is no ban on Jallikattu. This was very a long article. Why has Supreme Court validated Tamil Nadu stand on Jallikattu? So you can see, you can go through this article. So that's all from my side.